My wife insisted her work husband be her +1 at weddings because he knows all her work friends, so I became everyone's +1. My wife Angela walked into the living room holding 2 wedding invitations while I was watching TV. I need to bring Grant to these weddings, she said. Grant was her 20-year-old assistant at work. Why Grant? I asked, genuinely confused. My whole department will be there. If I bring you, everyone gossips about me playing favorites with him since I'm his boss. But if we go together as co-workers, it looks better. She said it like she'd been practicing this speech. Plus, my annual review is next month. My boss will be at both weddings watching everything. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You're taking Grant as your date instead of your husband? It's strategic. For my promotion. She waved the invitations at me. You hate weddings anyway. You always complain about the small talk. That was true, but this felt wrong. Fine, I said. Take Grant. Angela smiled like she'd won the lottery. I knew you'd be logical about this. The first wedding came around, and Angela spent 2 hours getting ready, trying on 3 different dresses before leaving with Grant at noon. I was sitting on the couch feeling pretty weird about the whole thing when my phone rang at 2. It was Ryan from my gym. Hey man, you coming to my wedding today? I nearly dropped my phone. Your wedding is today? Yeah, didn't Angela tell you? She works with my dad. You're on the list. I looked at the invitation stuck on our fridge and my heart started racing. She said she was bringing someone else. I told him, so what? I invited you separately. We play basketball 3 times a week. An hour later, I walked into that wedding feeling like I was about to cause chaos. Angela's face went completely white when she spotted me at the bar, and I'm not gonna lie, it felt pretty good. She basically sprinted over with Grant trailing behind, looking confused. What are you doing here? Ryan invited me. From basketball. You didn't tell me Ryan was getting married. You didn't ask whose wedding it was. Her boss appeared beside us holding a beer. Oh good, you're both here, he said. Then his face changed. Wait, why aren't you sitting together? Angela's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Grant needed to. Network. Her boss looked between us and I could see him putting pieces together. You brought him instead of your husband? The words just hung there. It's complicated, Angela stammered. Her boss walked away shaking his head, and I knew this was already backfiring. 3 weeks later was the second wedding, and Angela left with Grant again like nothing had happened. This time I didn't need a phone call though. The bride, Julie, was my cousin's best friend, and she'd invited me months ago when she heard Angela couldn't make it. I just never corrected Angela's assumption about whose wedding it was. I showed up early to help set up chairs, and when Angela walked in with Grant, she literally froze in the doorway. How? Was all she managed to say. Julie invited me. She's basically family. You knew? You never asked. The reception was absolutely brutal for Angela. Her coworkers kept coming up to me looking concerned. Are you two separated? One asked. No, Angela just prefers bringing Grant to weddings, I said loud enough for others to hear. Another pulled me aside looking uncomfortable. Is she having an affair with him? You'd have to ask her, I replied. By the time speeches started, the entire department was whispering and shooting looks at their table. Grant looked like he wanted to crawl under the table and die. Angela kept trying to do damage control, but every word made it sound worse. Her coworkers exchanged these knowing looks that made her face turn red. Her boss found me during dessert and pulled me aside. I need to talk to HR about this, he said quietly. This doesn't look appropriate. I just nodded and offered him some cake. Monday morning came and Angela got called into human resources first thing. She came home that afternoon with puffy red eyes and I actually felt bad for a second. They're investigating me for an inappropriate relationship with Grant. Why? I asked, even though I basically knew. Everyone from the weddings reported it. They said bringing him as my date twice shows favoritism and creates a hostile work environment for other team members. She collapsed on the couch looking defeated. Grant requested an immediate transfer. He's terrified. For 2 weeks, they interviewed everyone who went to those weddings. Angela had to explain over and over why she brought Grant instead of me. I told him the truth. It was strategic, she said after her 3rd interview, looking exhausted. They said bringing your 20-something assistant as your date is the opposite of strategic. She actually tried to get me to fix it. Can't you tell them it was your idea? But it wasn't, I reminded her. You said it yourself. HR decided Angela showed poor boundaries and gave her a formal warning in her file. No promotion, obviously. Grant transferred to another office immediately. Yesterday, another wedding invitation showed up, and Angela basically threw it at me. We're going together. What about your strategy? Turns out bringing your 20-something assistant to weddings kills your career. The invitation was from Grant.